Well, you listen to music from, like John Lennon, for example, the way he first started off in the 60s, and then when he married
Yes.
and, for a second time, and his
Yes.
music developed, and
Yes.
some of the songs he was writing just prior to his passing they're amazing, and we're still
Yes.
singing them today. Like
Yes.
Give Peace a Chance.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
Timeless.
that
Yes.
is almost timeless.
Yes.
I would say it probably is timeless.
Yes, yes.
Because every generation picks up on it and doesn't change it and sings
right.
it exactly.
They're hidden gems. I love Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Wrote in the 70s, Wake Up Everybody. No one knows that song. Very few people do. And the word, it just hits me every time I hear it. It just shivers down my spine. It's so current till today. And they're talking about
know it?
world issues. Yeah, I can't. It's fully orchestrated.
Okay.
But it's Wake Up Everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. I'll skip the verse, but it goes, the world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, just you and me. And hearing that as a teenager, it lit a fire in me, and really put me on course for a lot of where I am now. I view music lessons as more than just a piano teacher, guitar teacher, here's the physics of the instrument, but as a mentorship role. You know, quite often I'm mentoring kids to adulthood in many ways, and they're asking me that in their lives. And it's a beautiful place to be, and it makes sense because from music we're coming from that personal side. You know?
Yeah, and it's too bad it's I didn't want to interrupt you,
Go
but
ahead.
I'm just thinking, it's too bad it's coming out of our schools. You know, music used to be, when I was in school in the 50s,
Yes.
music was there, art
Yes.
was there, you just took music lessons. It was just part of the curriculum.
Yes,
And
yes.
now, where is it?
I know, and it's terrible. For if anything, but it teaches you how to use the right side of your brain. You see, I was speaking. I don't think I spoke this on camera, but I'll speak this now. There's an individual, Daniel Tammet. He's an autistic individual, Asperger's, who can recite the square root of pi, or recite pi to the 10,000th decimal place. Phenomenal brain, and he does math through his lingual centers. He does math through his creative centers, whereas we do math from our analytical centers. By learning music, by learning how to craft our creative centers, we can start using that center to influence many other areas in our life, even things that we might not necessarily think would come from creativity. You know, people laugh at me because the way I do math. You know, I think of 3 plus 5. I see a pentagon plus a triangle. 3 plus 5 is 8 because it adds up to a shape. If at 10 plus 15, I'm doing base characters off of shapes and systems because I'm using one side of my brain that is not normally used in math. And when the teacher used to write on the chalkboard, this is how you do math, it never made sense to me. As a musician, as someone who crafts that side of me, if I knew how to leverage that at a younger age, I would have done better in all areas of my life. Thankfully, I've learned it later, so I'm leveraging that now. But yes.
But that's interesting, math thinking of the shapes.
Yeah,
Versus me, I just think of it's 3 and a 5, and there's a plus sign equals 8.
Yes, yes.
I don't think about shapes.
Yes, no. See, 5 is complete. That's 5 plus 2. That's 7 in my mind. So if 7 plus 7, that's 2 5s. That's 2 holes. So therefore, that's a 10. 2 plus 2 is 4, because now I have a box. So I have 2 circles in a square. It creates, and so on and so forth. But and it's interesting. Some of my students that come from music lessons often get tutored in math and science and quantum physics. Anyone like if we go down all those paths, because it's just thinking about things differently. And by teaching them in some of those forms, it's amazing to see how far they go now. Because now they're not only growing in confidence, but growing in many other areas.
Yeah, I know. One of the things I learned very quickly when my son took lessons at a very young age.
Yeah.
It was all for, well, you have to take piano, you have to learn to do grade 1 or the Royal Conservatory, and you have to do the grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, and it was always this pressure to do the grades, get up to grade 8.
Yep.
But there was little appreciation.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what I'm hearing about Spaulding is that there's more of an appreciation and more of a willingness to let kids
experience them from their perspective. And when I do that, what ends up happening, a lot of my students, at the end of 1 year, they're ready to write their grade 3, grade 4 exam. How many conservatory students do you know from day 1, within 1 year, is ready to write a grade 4 exam? right? Because we've approached it from the natural way of doing music. And then when you want a grade, go out and get a grade. We'll teach you the skill. You'll already know the skills. You already know everything you need to know. Just get the sign off on it.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to be grade driven. We don't get into music and pick it up because we want to do grade 8. Or we want to play at Kiwanis. We do it because we want to play with friends, or we want to be on stage, we want to write something, you know, so let's get cut to that meat. And that will become your motivator to go really far and to want to play half hour to an hour or 3 hours a day, which a lot of students end up doing once they get bit by the bug. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And it has to be music that resonates with you. Like I started learning, I don't know what I was learning, but now I'm learning jazzy because I relate to jazz better. And
yes.
But I've been learning Unforgettable for 3 months now.
Right.
Still.
Right.
But jazz is something that, like you said, like for me, I identify with.
You connect with it, yeah.
So I'm much more willing to put the time into it.
Exactly, exactly. And Unforgettable, really, I love that song, by the way. It's beautiful, some major sevens, some really cool tonalities, but I think there's only 5 chords in the song. And really, try to find good Unforgettable sheet music. It's going to sound very square. It's not going to sound Nat King Cole. So if you learn the fact C major 7th through I forget what it is, if you understand those changes, because what you'll find, jazz are done in fake books. It tends to have all these crazy chords with 10 syllables, C sharp, minor, diminished ninth, with the right melody. But if you learn it from that point of view, you're going to get very quick through that.
We're almost at the end of the show. I'd like you to play us something else as we sign off. There's your guitar. There you are.
How much time do I have?
Oh, you have all night. They'll just cut us off. 3 minutes, 2 minutes,
all right.
You know.
This is a song I wrote when I was in high school.
Something you wrote.
In this world of unending pain, why do we hide ourselves? We're not the ones to blame. We protect our souls while strangers roam. The earth set us free, set us free. We all get burned, we all have our regrets, but when you find your heart, you'll ask, why do we fret? Why do we run from fear and hide behind the truth? Set us free, set us free. And when the walls close in, the ceiling starts to fall, you'll find your strength within will last if you stand tall. The answers lie within you, for your life lies at your own feet. If you could live and give our hearts to free our very souls to be the best that we can see, to live in harmony. 'Cause when your last strand breaks is when you'll find hope will prevail. In this world of unending pain, we never find a way to break free from the rain. That's why we have to fight so hard to hide ourselves. Set us free, set us free, set us free, set us free, set us free.
Wonderful.
Set us free.